Episode 130. Here we are, back at the gladiatorial pits of Ul'dah. Komoi swore she'd never come back here, after she abandoned the sword way back when. But here we are nonetheless. I guess even after the training that she did with Myla and the rest of the Gladiators Guild to prepare for the Palace of the Dead, all of that swordplay that she did down there was some kind of weird Palace of the Dead magic, not exactly a normal sword. So I don't think she's confident enough to head back into the pits, sword in hand. Probably just going to do it as a mage. Hopefully, no one will recognize her. After all, it's kind of part of her embarrassing past. I like to imagine her as maybe the weakest contender in the gladiator pits. Although maybe the weakest could also be famous in its own right. She was just embarrassingly unnotable as a contender. Look, I know you're the warrior of light and all, but we can't afford to take any chances. Be on your guard, Komoi. I suppose that our questioning of Mr. Ultros can wait. Let us see if this Ganelon fellow can enlighten us. You again? I already told you that. What? Entered the tourney, you say? Are you out of your bleeding mind? Look, I've got a suspicion or two, which I'm happy to share with you. But in the end, you have to protect yourself. You hear? So I've been asking around, and it seems that more than a few of the fighters who've pulled out of the tourney were scheduled to fight a warrioress by the name of Avila. Now I can't make any promises, but my instincts tell me this girl is bad news. But don't take it from me when you can hear it from someone who's crossed blades with her just days ago. A fellow by the name of Raging Rat had the misfortune of being matched up with Avila in the preliminary round, and earned himself a right bruising from it all. Last I heard, he was resting up back at the Pugilist Guild. Why don't you pay him a visit? Same dialogue. And here. Just making sure. Come to have a good laugh at old Raging Rat's expense, have you? Well, you're not the first. I say, is there not a man in this entire realm with an ounce of sympathy? Greetings, good sir. How fortunate you are today that your guest is Hildebrand Manderville, gentleman and inspector. Now, if you would, please enlighten me as to how exactly it was that you were beaten to a bloody pulp by Miss Avila. Gentlemen, my arse. Have you not a witted delicacy? Never mind. Look, the records may say I lost, but I'll admit to nothing of the sort. I'll shout it at the top of my lungs if no one else will. But the girl doesn't fight fair. Tempest Blade? Some kind of foul sorcery, if you ask me. Mark my words, that girl is up to no good. If she weren't so damned easy on the eyes, she'd be rotting in jail as we speak. The girl's Alamegan, or haven't you heard? You know how it is with those refugees. Why fight with honor when you've got nothing to lose? Yes, and why not disparage an entire people in a pathetic attempt to salvage your sorry pride? This one's a real piece of work, Komoi. Let's be on our way. I didn't mean no offense, miss. Just telling it like it is, as it were. Perhaps it truly is some manner of sorcery, as the fellow says. Or perhaps she works within a compass. She didn't strike me as the magic-wielding type. If I were a betting woman, I'd put my gill on the ladder. Ah, Miss Ellie, the thrill of the chase has struck a chord with you as well. Yes, I can see it in the wrinkles beneath your eyes. We might very well make an inspectress of you yet. I'll give you a good wrinkle, you insensitive boor. Ahem. If what that man says is true, it's likely that her fellow Alamegans might sympathize with her plight. An accomplice would hardly be out of the question. Yes, I can see it now. Two unfortunate souls, shunned by those around them, united by destiny and a common desire for justice. Ample appendages whirling wildly, sending gusts of wind flying every which way. Avila and Ulti, a match made in the heavens. Were it any more obvious, I could have solved this case without leaving my home. Incredible. Your powers of deduction never fail to amaze, Inspector. What is it with you two and that infernal octopus? Mr. Ultros should still be at the Colosseum. Let us hurry before he slithers back to whencesoever he came. That theory, using magic to cheat at the Colosseum. I guess Komori thinks that's probably a pretty good idea, huh? Thinking about it way back when I decided to switch her off from Gladiator to Thaumaturge, maybe that's what was going through her mind, that she could use some magic with her wand to cheat her way through some gladiatorial fights or something. Just kind of hanging out, huh? Shush, friend. Look over yonder. Behold those exquisite legs. Those stylish tentacles. Oh, no. Thought that was Ultros talking. Behold those exquisite legs. Those stylish tentacles. The unearthly undulations of his squirmy, squishy body. Yes, our friend Ulti is a most fascinating creature indeed. Behold how he carefully eyes the gladiatrix before him. What manner of mischief is he plotting? He speaks. Yes, this is most suspicious indeed. Oh ho, what is this? The girl has fled in a panic. Our friend Ulti appears to be discouraged. Look at the way his shoulders sag, or how they would sag if he had shoulders. Our quarry is on the move. Quickly, Nashu, we must pursue. Actually, thinking about it, isn't magic allowed in the Colosseum? Thinking back to the quest with Franz the Fair and all that, his whole group consisted of at least one mage, right? So, I guess magic isn't exactly cheating, but you can still use magic in ways to cheat. So that's what Komori was targeting. But then I guess one thing led to another, and then she became the Warrior of Light. But here we are, one thing leading to another, back at the Colosseum. Aha, there he is. You will not escape us so easily, Mr. Ultros. Mr. Ulti seems to have found himself another gladiatrix. What might he be plotting this time? Look at those succulent legs. I reckon they'd taste just wonderful in a good marinara sauce. Hey. Marinara sauce. Ah, he speaks. And another girl rushes off. Whatever did he say to her? He looks so sad. Shall we douse him in lemon butter and put him out of his misery, Inspector? Whatever is he doing with these girls anyway? That girl that ran off, we're not going to comment on that. Hildebrand? Call me crazy, but I think he likes them. I guess we're not going to comment on it. Isn't that a character we know? Or a character that I know? That we will know? Maybe just a similar looking one, but I'm pretty sure that was her. Poor Mr. Ultros didn't seem to have much luck with the ladies. Speaking only for myself, I'd love to have him for dinner. Perhaps in a nice lemon butter sauce. I guess Nashu does go for the tentacles in a different sense. Have I ever had octopus myself? Maybe one time in some restaurant or another. Can't say for certain if it's good or not. But with lemon, probably better. Poor misunderstood Ulti. Here we suspected him of criminal activity, when in truth he was just a gentle soul, luckless in love. Oh, Ulti, can you find it in your squishy, slimy heart to forgive us? Yes, now perhaps we should return to our investigation. If Avila is as suspicious as they say, perhaps we should follow her around for a bit. Dower Meadow back at the Colosseum should be able to enlighten us as to her whereabouts. An excellent idea, Miss Ellie, but I have a better one. Let us return to the Colosseum and speak with Dower Meadow. From him, we shall ascertain Miss Avila's whereabouts, upon which we shall follow her about to see if she is indeed as suspicious as they say. Come, Nashu, the investigation calls. Don't think Uncle Ulti didn't see you following me. What's the big idea, eh? I'm nothing more than a stupid octopus, Gwee. Or am I? Come on now, I just want what any octopus wants. A cute girl, untold riches, and the admiration of millions. Can't Uncle Ulti dream? Well, those don't sound necessarily criminal, but the way you're saying it. Well, kids, hate to ink and run, then again, I am an octopus. Ultros is allowed to break the fourth wall? I guess that's fine. Ultros, like Gilgamesh, is a bit of a storied character, appearing in a number of Final Fantasy games as a kind of fourth wall breaking extra boss of some sort. Probably not as famous as Gilgamesh, though. Less games, too, I think. But the two go hand in hand, or so I'm told. So I've looked up. Sometimes. I don't remember all the details. Yes, what is it this time? I'm a busy man. Looking for Avila, you say? She said something about sharing a flagon with her countrymen over at the Coffer and Coffin. I reckon you might still find her there. I'll warn you though, if you're smart you'll keep your distance from that one. That poor bugger Ganelin tried to interview her for an article. Thought the girl was going to rip his head clean off. How can I put this? She doesn't seem to take kindly to being asked questions of a personal nature, if you catch my drift. That said, if you're looking for a good sparring match to warm you up for the tourney, that might be just the ticket. I can assure you there will be no need for gratuitous fisticuffs, my good sir. With my remarkable powers of espionage, we will ascertain all the information we need without the fiery lass even being alerted to our presence. Let us be off. No change. Any NPCs here specifically for Hildebrand? No. I don't think so, anyway. Where is the Coffer and Coffin? Oh, right. This place. Where we had some of the early quest stuff. I could have teleported out, it would have been much faster. I could still do that and it'd still be much faster. Guess I'm walking. Ah, the New Year's event is over. I didn't even realize. Alright, from here, we'll take the chocobo. Still on ground, though. I've never been here. Vesco's Wash. Just a bunch of people camping outside of Uldal. Not exactly Stone's Throw. The Alamegan refugee camp. Just a different group. Mercenaries and the like. It's interesting to see just out in the middle of nowhere. Or pretty close to Uldal, but I guess that makes sense. Not exactly adventurers and not exactly Royal Guard, just mercenaries or something. I think. You tell me. Those twice-damn peddlers of Uldar would demand the entire contents of your purse for one maggot-filled loaf of bread. Thus some adventuring colleagues and I decided to save our guild and set up a camp outside the city. You share our profession, yes? If you should learn of any well-paying low-risk jobs, you could certainly use the extra coin. Yeah, just a bunch of adventurers hanging out. It's interesting to see. The profession of adventuring just feels something almost intangible sometimes. You only see other player characters, usually, in the adventuring profession as the only characters wandering around that hold that title. I guess sometimes there are NPCs that are also adventurers that you meet here and there. But for the most part, the term adventurers just refers to you and other player characters you see around. Seeing NPCs like that just sitting around kind of fleshes out the world a little bit. At least it does for me. Behold, the lovely Miss Avila, just as predicted. Let us keep watch from here, so as to not set off the girl's famed temper. How many times must I tell you, there is no cause for concern. The spoils shall be mine. It may as well be written in stone. Do you realize what this means? We have suffered, and suffered long. But my victory shall mark a new era. Just as Reborn Aldin won a new life for himself in the Colosseum, I shall win a new life for our people. The prize that I shall claim will bolster the wealth of our people 1,000, no, 10,000-fold. In a land where wealth is power, we will be kicked to the gutter by the Uldans no longer. And with that, I must be off to the Nanawa mines to meet my sister. Miss Avila's self-assurance is ever a sight to behold. I deduce that my own chances of felling her on the field of battle are infinitesimal. I could have told you that before you signed up. Come now, we have a suspect to pursue. Gwee-hee-hee. Trying to steal Avila from Uncle Ulti's tentacles, are you? I'm afraid that isn't going to happen. Yes, Uncle Ulti's homemade explosive will see that this is the end of the road for you. Does that make me a bad octopus? Ah, the distinctive smell of fire sand. Another one of your handcrafted explosives, I take it, Noshu? Heavens no, Inspector. This is far too elaborate to be one of mine. Do you think whoever crafted this would be willing to give me a lesson? They're on to me. Preposterous. Could it be that Musclehead isn't as stupid as he looks? I see. In any event, I shudder to think of what might happen if an unsuspecting passerby chanced upon such a hazardous object. Allow me. Heave. Ho. You've got to be kidding me. Team Rocket goes blasting off again. I guess it wasn't in the budget to animate the whole blasting off part. Blackbrush Station. I don't think I've ever been inside this building, have I? I guess just some kind of toll gate or something, where people have to pay their taxes or something. Or where they arrange for the shipment of goods. Seems like it. This here operation takes the low-grade ore dug up in the non-ore mines and refines it. Now don't you fret none about the quality of the minerals. Everything is overseen by agents of Estane's lapidaries, and that means our purification techniques produce only the finest results. Okay, no, it's not part of transporting goods, it's part of mining. I guess I saw the train station and thought that's what this was, but maybe this train operation is really only for the sake of mining. They don't really use trains for transportation here in Eorzea, do they? I never really thought about that. Where do these tracks go? I'll waste a little bit of time. One over here, to another corner of the map that I've never been to, where I guess the Kikarin live. And this just goes somewhere, I guess into the mines. I might have thought it goes somewhere else in Thanalan, but I don't think there are any tracks over here. It could be either. These seem like they could be used for the transport of passengers, in addition to mining, but I've never actually seen any cutscenes or anybody talk about using these stations for transport. So I guess it's probably only for mining. Maybe. Another corner of the realm I've never been to, except for this quest and this quest alone. That maiden in mining garb must be the sister of whom Miss Avila spoke. Let us listen a bit closer. I thought we agreed, no hard labor until your leg is healed. I swear. Sometimes I think you were born solely to give your poor sister headaches. Says the girl who once fought off 10 Imperials with one good arm. Perhaps someday you'll understand that your little sister can take care of herself just as well as you. Speaking of which, what news of the tourney? Worry not, Hegelina. I've taken all the necessary precautions. The Warden's grace is as good as ours. Even the most modest estimates value its worth at some 30 million gil. That's a lot. I don't think I even collected that much on my main character. Maybe. Do you realize what this means? Necklaces from Estanes, sun-silk dresses, all the luxuries you've ever wanted will be yours. The poor little girls in shabby clothes, objects of pity and scorn for the Uldon upper crust. Those days are over. After I claim victory, we will take our rightful place at the top of society. I don't know, Avi. Wealth is all well and good, but when I see you stand tall in the Colosseum, hundreds and thousands cheering your name, I am proud. No matter how humble our birth, if we stand strong and stand together, this alone is all the wealth I ask for. That is your problem, Hegelina. You've always been too quick to settle for less than your worth. But worry not. Your sister is watching over you. I will do this for us. Now I must return. God forbid one of those prying reporters overhears us. That's my Abby, unfazed by a duel to the death, yet terrified to be caught in a moment of tenderness. May the gods smile on you, sister, and be safe. A more moving display of sisterly love I have not seen, and yet I fear it has afforded us little in the way of prospective clues. It would seem Avila's obsession with victory runs even deeper than we imagined. That said, I can't help but feel a bond with the girl. My sister and I were alone in the world too, you see. Inspector, did you hear what I just heard? Look, kids, Uncle Ulti has headed up to here with you. Do you think you could just fall in this pit and die like a good little girl? Yee, I'm talking to you, Mrs. Warrior of Light. Hear that sound? Just one step closer. Closer. Not you, you idiot. Truly a Team Rocket play. A pitfall and everything. Luckily for us, Hildebrand is used to that sort of thing. Ahem. No need for concern, friends. I have simply taken the liberty of investigating this hole in the ground, and am pleased to report that there seems to be nothing out of the ordinary. One idiot cancels out another. We have nothing to fear. Our hero. Now shall we return to Ul'dah? The Mythril Cup will be starting before long, and the last thing we want after all this is to lose our bout by forfeit. Could it be? Did that musclehead dive straight into my trap to save his companions? The others seem completely unsurprised at this turn of events. Doubtless he has performed such selfless acts before. A true gentleman if I ever saw one. But if you think that means I'm going to show mercy on you, you've got another think coming. Time to break out the big guns, kids. Wait a minute. I dug 2 pits, didn't I? Come to think of it, the second one was right around here. Give me a break. All the slapstick happens off-screen. I'd like to see it before they fade to black. Nothing really over here. I guess the mining is in the raw cliff face. Does anyone hang out here? Did anyone hang out here? Back when it was just a Realm Reborn, the only thing being out? Or even in 1.0, if this used to be a place you could go to? A completely dead section of the map. Pretty much. Except for this one questline. Back to town then. Or in that direction. I guess the site that I'm seeing right now is going to be a familiar site for a lot of people when they are not familiar. Going to become a familiar site for people that are starting the mobile game. Mobile's only going to be a Realm Reborn, but since it's going to be that, I'm actually not sure if they're going to introduce flying that early on. The mobile game might even be entirely walking. I'm not sure. Whatever does he think he's found this time? Yes, is something the matter? We're on something of a tight schedule here, Inspector. Stand back, Miss Ellie. My well-honed inspector's senses are tingling. I feel a most fearsome adversary lurking about. This time you're really up the creek without a paddle, kids. Say hello to a not-so-little friend of mine from the Colosseum. He's large, he's in charge, and most of all, he's hungry. Gwee-hee-hee. Where in the world is he? I haven't got all day. And Godbert Manderville kills another Chimera. If I didn't know better, I'd think that was his day job. My Chimera! Who is that half-naked fool? Father, could it be that the aura of unmitigated murderous rage that I felt was not our quarry, but you? Hildy, I was merely taking a stroll in search of inspiration and materials for my newest masterpiece in the making. And what brings you and your friends to these parts today? Just a bit of sleuth work, Father dear, and with that, we must return to Ul'dah. If you have not heard, your son is set to compete for the Mitchell Cup. Oh ho, moonlighting as a gladiator, are we? A fitting second career for a Manderville man, if I do say so myself. That muscle-bound old man is the inspector's father. Remind me to never go to one of their family reunions. Just who is this inspector anyway? Hildy is a worthy rival, if ever there was one. Who goes there? Ah. Hildy, Komoi, I have been waiting for this day. I forgot his voice in the actual battle on the big bridge. It's fine. Well, looky who we have here. You're quite an intimidating gent yourself. A friend of the inspector, mayhap? I am Gilgamesh, wandering duelist, and I am not so much the inspector's friend as his enemy. Well, that makes two of us. Perk up, Gulliver, because this just might be our lucky day. Is there no one in this accursed realm who can remember my... Call me what you will, friend, but heed my words. Komoi is a formidable foe. That sounds like high praise coming from a big fellow like yourself. To have such a powerhouse as his sidekick. That inspector must be something else indeed. I know not what brings you to do battle with those two, but I warn you, you will end up as seafood soup if you face them alone. And with that, I must be off. For reasons that I do not entirely understand, I am considered something of a fugitive in these parts. Komoi, I will not fall so easily this time. Well, it looks like I've got my legs full, all 8 of them. But if that adventurer is too strong to take on alone, I'll just have to bring along a friend. Wahaha. Supply? A supplely twisting ring, calling to mind the undulations of a creature of the sea. Yes, inspiration has struck. Nobody here but us octopodes. Octopodes. Look forward to your next life as a masterpiece fiend. Muscleheads, I hate them. Maybe the case this time will solve itself. It seems like we barely had to lift a finger. Ultros just kind of takes care of himself. Guess I'll walk. Enjoy the sunset. Seeing the crystal braves lingering about. I forgot to actually check in on my squadron today. Gotta train up my own gang for the inevitable gang wars that are definitely happening. Good heavens, chancing upon father like that, I dare say it's taken a year off my life. Quite a crowd has assembled. It would seem the festivities are nigh about to commence. I had hoped to uncover more of Miss Avila's secrets, but no matter. What better place to continue my investigation than on the field of battle? Well, if we're about to enter the ring, we should get dressed for the occasion, right? It wouldn't do to just enter in our normal adventuring garb, not for a show. This set is apparently the Colosseum set, for magic, that is. It's a Colosseum set for Disciples of War, and this one's for magic. How do we look? Do we look the part? A Colosseum gladiator, or whatever you would call a mage in the Colosseum? Good heavens! We haven't much time before the tourney begins. We must hasten back to the Colosseum and apprise ourselves on the rules of the engagement. To a true gentleman, the battle is not about victory or defeat, but fighting with honor. Whatever treachery or guile my opponents may employ, I must not, I will not, lower myself to their level. Komoi has no problem with cheating. But at this point, does she really have to? She's probably far more powerful than anyone here. With a wand, that is, not with a sword. And if wands are allowed, or staves or whatever, she'll probably clean up. Is it just me, or is Mr. Ultros a bit lumpier than he was before. Oh, there he is up there. That's not related to the quest. Bumps on the head, chipped teeth. I'm one shabby-looking octopus. I tell ya, they don't pay me enough for this. But that's all going to change soon, isn't it, buddy? Funga. Ah, Mr. Ultros. Just the octopus we were looking for. I was hoping that you might enlighten us as to... Ye gads! Who gave you those ghastly bruises? Bruises? I fell down the stairs, that's all. Now get lost. I'm a busy octopus. Funga. Ouch. You have my sympathies, good sir. It is challenge enough to coordinate 4 limbs, let alone 8. Is there someone inside your office? No. Whatever gave you that idea? I am simply, fumigating the place. For pests. Pests like yourself. Now, don't you have a battle to go fight? Funga. Inspector, I think something's alive in there. That's just me, talking to myself. Yes. Funga. Gods, yes. Gods. Working as a receptionist is fun. Battered, bruised, beset by vermin, and still able to find joy and fulfillment in your work? I say, Mr. Ultros, your passion for your chosen profession is truly an inspiration to us all. Komoy, if you would come with me for a moment, I fear the stupidity in the air may be contagious. You've already caught a Priordian, and I think we have too. Wait. We're allowed to be here? I had no idea. I thought this was one of those impassable walls. Like... I mean, there are a few over at different staircases, but... This whole time, you're allowed to go up here. I had no idea. I mean, there's nothing up here, other than Ultros' office, but... Funny. Another funny thing. This is another point in the game where they require you to use the jump button. Most of the time you can get around, but since the cutscene put you over here, there's no way back unless you jump over the gate. Final Fantasy is usually careful about that, I guess, allowing you to access wherever you need without jumping, but sometimes they do it. Not that it really matters. Although I guess you could just use return, and that way you wouldn't have to jump, technically. But that's also another thing. They're also careful about making you not necessarily have to teleport everywhere. That you can get wherever you need just by going out the exits of the map. Everywhere on the map is connected to another point in the map without teleportation, pretty much. It doesn't really matter. Mr. Ultros is truly a man after my own heart. A gentleman among octopodes. Not octopedes, it's octopodes. Listening to Mr. Ultros talk is truly inspiring. I say he's looking more appetizing by the minute. Well, has your investigation borne any fruit? I see. Avila seeks to win the tourney to claim a fortune, and raise her and her sister out of poverty. Furthermore, she has implied that she has taken the necessary precautions to ensure that her victory is all but certain. While trailing her, you narrowly evaded a series of dastardly obstacles, and upon your return, that strange octopus appeared considerably worse for the wear. The evidence points in one direction. The Alamegan girl and Ultros are plotting together to claim the Mithril Cup and its lucrative prize. It is not as preposterous as it sounds. I have done some research on our 8-legged friend. it would appear that Ultros has become something of a regular at Ulda's taverns and, houses of pleasure. I suspect that he is using his inside knowledge of the workings of the Colosseum to identify and eliminate potential threats, thereby ensuring victory for Avila and earning himself a healthy commission. There is also the matter of the Tempest Blade, that is rumored to be the source of the Alamegan girl's strengths. This remains a mystery, which means that I fear your life is still in danger, Komori. One of the guards informed me that several crates of refuse from the Colosseum reception room were hastily discarded in Pearl Lane not bells ago. It is a stab in the dark, but the contents may yet provide some answers. I would ask you to bring them to me. Loath as I am to sift through rubbish, the refuse from the Colosseum may hold the answers we seek. I would ask you to retrieve them from Pearl Lane for me. We'll teleport there. I guess Sapphire Avenue Exchange would have been the quicker teleport, but if we're going in a line, this collection route makes sense. Not that it really matters. Can't walk by this door in Pearl Lane without commenting. Komori's old home. Or so I like to pretend. There you are. Right where I left you, of course. Well, let me see what you have found. A large wooden box containing all sorts of detritus gathered from the Colosseum, some of it still twitching. What? Now what have we here? Ah yes, a spectacular assortment of innards and entrails and... What's this? A sack, even more foul-smelling than the gore that was lying in it. If that can be believed. And look here. Something appears to be written on the side. St. Goth's Sundries. It would seem this merchant has had dealings with that squishy mass of tentacles. Let us pay a visit to the man and have him enlighten us as to the exact nature of their partnership. Couldn't you have met me over in Pearl Lane, Briardian, making me teleport back and forth? We talked to this guy before, for a crafting quest or something. In a feature unlock for crafting, that is. I think it was maybe melding, could have even been desynthesis. Welcome, welcome. What might a discerning lady like yourself be looking for today? Battlefields the day after slaughter smell better than the unknown contents of this bag. I'm sorry, madam, but if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. No exchanges, replacements, or refunds. I stand by the quality of my wares, and I expect my customers to do the same. Wait now. Did Ultros send you? I'll be asking the questions here. What exactly did you sell to that ungodly creature? Why, an entire sack full of gold truffles. Can you believe it? What with the impressive price and that, distinctive aroma, they're only for the most discerning of customers, which Mr. Ultros clearly is, as he just placed another order today. Could these truffles somehow be connected to... No. I shall stop myself before I start sounding like... Inspector Biodian, it wounds me, that you would sneak off to conduct your investigation without me. And to steal away Komori here, this gentleman is not impressed. Did you find anything, Inspector? Good gods, what is that dreadful smell? Miss Ellie, I would have expected a cultured young woman like yourself to be more educated in Epicurean arts. That is the most distinct and delightful aroma of the gold truffle. An acquired taste, to be sure, but one that has won the heart of many an old-on gourmet. I particularly enjoy them slow roasted, as my dear mother makes them. Roasted, you say? Why, my mouth's watering just thinking about it. Might I be so bold as to ask for the recipe? It appears the productive portion of this conversation has come to an end. Besides, the tourney is about to begin. Let us make haste back to the Colosseum. Do you feel the anticipation in the air, my friend? This shall go down in Eorzean history as the greatest battle since I slew that dragon. That did actually happen, yes? Referring to Bahamut, again, when he was flung towards Dalamud. And I guess Dalamud burst open into a dragon. Hildebrand must have had a hand in helping her, stopping Bahamut, by helping Louis Soir. I'm sure of it. Anything to say? No. Oh wait, I just select that one. I see. Truffles a la Manderville? Why, it is an Epicurean revelation. I can hardly wait to recreate that recipe myself. I wonder if you can actually make that as a culinarian. There are so many things that you can create. Surely that's one of them, right? Maybe? Oh, this would be the last one? Maybe. Well, that merchant proved to be a spectacular waste of time. Time which is in short supply. We must return to the Colosseum before the battles begin. Here is the plan, Komori. I shall find a suitable vantage point to observe Miss Avila in combat. Until I have ascertained the trickery behind her abilities, you are to keep a wide berth of her blade. Understood? And off they go as well. Is it our turn in the arena, or does Hildebrand go first? Same dialogue for some reason. That's a surprise. Normally that doesn't happen. Same here. Okay. Well, I guess it happens sometimes. There you are. I was this close to starting the melee without you. I'd be remiss not to tell you that there's been a slight change of plans. Another contestant suffered a last-minute injury, and none other than our very own Ultros has stepped in to take his place. Everyone's favorite octopus joining you two in the fray. Spectators are just pouring in, and bookmakers across town are raking in the gill, which ain't a bad thing for us. Word that Master Feargeese himself is quite taken with my promotional... No, wait. Word has it that Master Feargeese himself is quite taken with my promotional skills. Now the future is looking bright for old Dower Meadow, it is. So what say you? Are you ready to get your horses kicked? Are we ready for battle? Okay. I should probably say no with the amount of time that I have, but it'll be fine, right? That's what I like to hear. Ladies and gents, it's time for blades to whirl and limbs to fly. I can't possibly cut the episode before the climactic showdown. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, plutocrats and paupers, open your eyes and steel your stomachs. The Mitchell Cup, brought to you by our ever-charitable friends at Amagina & Sons Mineral Concern. Your concern is our concern, is about to begin. Surprisingly no France affair. I guess I shouldn't be though. Who will stand atop the head of the main bodies? The heap of main bodies, and twisted limbs to claim victory. Will it be the tempestuous Avila of Alamigo? Komoy, the famed warrior of light? Or... who was that grinning fool again? Oh, that's right. Humberbatch, agent of infamy and imbecile extraordinaire. Or will it be our 11th hour entry, Ultros, the 8-legged purple purveyor of pain? Is this fair? I mean, if magic is allowed. Oh ho ho! Here I am. Did you miss me? Aye, I'd say we have a battle for the ages here, folks. Combatants, take your positions, and let the battles begin. Alright, you know the deal. We team up and wipe out the others. Then when it's just the two of us, I'll take a dive. And you receive your share of the winnings. I have not forgotten our promise. We know that move. That's level 50. Look at that, look at Avila's blade spin. Why, she's a veritable whirlwind of death and destruction out there. They beat him tough in Alamigo, that's for certain. You are next. Here we go, ladies and gents. Once my buddy gets a whiff of these raw truffles, he'll be sneezing up a storm. Literally. Guffaw, haha. Ah, nothing like the rich aroma of roasted truffles. All this fighting is giving Uncle Ulti an appetite. Is it time for dinner yet? Wait a minute. Roasted truffles? Braised in a savory sauce, just like Mother used to make them. Feel free to have seconds. There's a whole sack full where that came from. That meddling musclehead. What's taking him so damn long? The girl's gaze gives it away. Open the gate at once. We know that guy. Boonga. What is that monstrosity? Mr. Typhon, is that your stomach I hear rumbling? Could I interest you in some roasted truffles, perhaps? What fascinating friends you have, Ulti. Why, just look at this charming little nose. Is he perhaps suffering from a case of the sniffles? Fu Bunga. Could it be? Avila's vaunted Tempest Blade. It was that monster all along. The girl played us all for fools. Don't look at me. It was all her idea. I'm just a stupid octopus. You were the one who approached me, you double-dealing fiend. I just wanted to experience the thrill of battle, you know, for my work and all. Come on, Dower, has Uncle Ulti ever lied to you? What did I tell you? I knew there was something fishy about that Alamegan whore. Alamegans. Beggars and brutes, a lot of them. We give them a home in our lands, and this is the thanks we get. Send her to Garlemald for all I care. Just get her out of my sight, before I get sick. But I just wanted to. My sister. I feel for the girl. Really, my little octopus heart goes out to her. But the rules are the rules, right? Now if Uncle Ulti may be so bold. I say we call off the melee and have a final showdown between the 3 remaining competitors. That would be me, my buddy Typhon, and Komori here. What do you say, Mrs. Warrior of Light? Ah, that's what we want to see. Ultros, Ultros, Ultros. Well, this is a most unprecedented turn of events. But who am I to deny the wishes of such a passionate crowd of martial arts aficionados? The venue, Halatali, the fighters, the tag team of Ultros and Typhon versus the Warrior of Light, who will be left standing when the storm is settled. Be there or miss a battle for the ages. He did not fight as a gentleman. Looks like Hildebrand is going to need some time to recover. Now would be a good time to take a break.